Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today is a walk and talk, and the topic is about controlling versus creating. I don't normally do this, but I have been a spiritual teacher since about 1984. I started training at a mystery school in 1981. I went through 5 years of training, and I worked for them on and off for about 13 or 14 years. And then I went on in my own way and incorporated some of the teachings from Findhorn. I went to Findhorn 3 different times. I also incorporated the techniques from the Perelandra Garden Research Center. And then in 2006, I went through a huge spiritual transformation, sort of a 5D awakening, and incorporated tools and techniques from Matrix Energetics. I had to adjust all my techniques. I had to upgrade all my techniques because Matrix Energetics was such an opening that my old techniques didn't work anymore. So the topic today is about creating versus controlling, and normally I'm reading from my blog, but obviously I'm not in a place where I can do that. The topic of controlling is an interesting one because I started my training in 1981. Abraham Hicks hadn't really gotten known yet. Power of Now had not been written yet, but we were very much into creating your reality, and creating your reality could then get misinterpreted as controlling your reality, wanting to make it as precise and defined as possible that nothing goes out of place. I've since learned that all of this is a creation of consciousness. We are each consciousness. It is a massive creation. I won't say co-creation because we're all a single consciousness. It's manifesting through different physical forms. I chose the Arboretum because I thought it was going to be quiet. Anyway, so when you try to manifest your reality and want to create your reality, but do it in a way that it has to be exactly precise and has to be specific to the very defined thing that you want to create, it's you controlling it. And what part of you is controlling it? Not your greater consciousness, not you as a greater consciousness. So what I find helpful in creating my reality, as I decide to not walk along Lake Washington Boulevard, but go off on a different route, is to have a vision of what I want, which incorporates all these things that I would like to have. And it does help to have some feelings about that, happy feelings usually. If you're trying to get away from something, that's often what you're going to manifest. Very interesting. I'll try this path. And realizing that the greater part of you is listening, greater consciousness is listening, is aware. In fact, the moment you have that seed of idea, you're already there as consciousness. There's a parallel universe that you already have that. But there's always my small self that always still wants to control it, wants it in a precise way. If I really hold on to that rigidly, it's just not going to work. But if I gather all the things that I'd like to create and align myself as my greater self as consciousness, then what manifests is something I couldn't possibly have imagined. What manifests is something bigger than I could have possibly imagined, because that's allowing greater consciousness in. And it's a pretty amazing thing when you allow, just think about it, this entire hologram is a creation of consciousness. When you're allowing that greater aspect of yourself in, this is the consciousness that manifested everything. Manifested all the trees and the muddy trail I'm walking along, waterfalls and mountains, meerkats and puffins. So when you align yourself, then what you notice is reality rearranging in your favor. And what I am noticing is reality rearranging in everyone's favor. And I am saying that at the end of the Trump administration. It's only halfway through, but we will see. And there's been horrific things so far. My family has had some really strong challenges. I have walked to a place where I can't walk through. And I'll also add that the frustrating thing can be is that the timing isn't precise. I'm very specific about timing. I like things to be in a timely fashion. So it's frustrating when things seem to be going slower than I initially intended. But from the perspective of consciousness, there is no time or space. Everything is happening all at once. I've said in other videos that time isn't linear, it's lasagna. There's layers of time. And so when what you want to manifests, if you're looking at it from the perspective of consciousness, you can see that it's all happening perfectly. It's all happening in a better way than had you, your smaller self, tried. It's happening in a better way than that. So if you've had an experience like this, please leave me a comment below. I love to read your comments. And if you like these videos, please share them with your family and friends and on your social media. In doing that, we'll get this information out to someone who really needs to see this. And if you want a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the Skybox technique. It'll give you a drone's eye perspective of what is going on in your world. And if you want to learn how to do this for yourself, click on the link below to my self-study course. You'll learn tools and techniques to navigate your life as consciousness. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com, and there you can learn more about my individual sessions and my coaching program. Go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I will see you next week in another Weekly Musings.